tremendous response to our first offensive formation, that has been around for a while. One, and that's to talk about the personnel groupings that you can use. Welcome to X and O's to Joe's. I'm Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining us again. Tremendous response to our first offensive video introducing our rifle offense. Today we're going to talk about an offense that has been, or at least an offensive formation, that has been driving defenses in the NFL crazy this year, and many people believe it's new. But I know for a fact that it's been around for a while, and that's the diamond formation that we've seen from Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. We're going to, number one, talk about the personnel groupings that you can use with this, and number two, talk about how you can take advantage of defenses. Stay tuned. So, a couple things you want to ask yourself if you're interested in running something like this diamond formation. Ask yourself, does the defense that I play against, will they personnel me? Now, what does that mean? Personnelling means that they're going to look at the type of players you bring in to decide what type of defense they're going to counter with. Now, good to great defensive coordinators will try to personnel you, because they want to be able to put themselves in the most advantageous matchups against your offensive personnel. This is where this gets those great defensive coaches into trouble when you're dealing with offense, is because you can run formations with any personnel grouping if you've taught your players to be versatile. One thing you have to know, your players have to be tough. They need to be able to do things in the run game that maybe another type of player would do. Receivers need to be able to block similar to tight ends. Tight ends need to be able to block similar to fullbacks. Running backs like tight ends, etc., etc. This allows you to play with the different personnel groupings and really, really mess with defensive coaches' mind. So, when you look at something like this, a defensive coach is immediately going to believe you are in 30 personnel. That is 3 backs, no tight ends, because you have 3 in the backfield. Now, you could possibly be in a 30 personnel, and all 3 of these guys could be backs. Or you could be in 12 personnel with 1 back, 2 tight ends, and these 2 guys can be tight ends for you. That's obviously going to change how they align to how they personnel you. But you could also be in 10 personnel, which is 1 back, no tight ends, which means you have 4 wide receivers on the field. If you've got shifty slot guys, you can have those guys come into the backfield. Because at the end of the day, it's all about what you're asking them to do. And depending upon what play you're running, might depict the type of personnel you want to use to run this. Or it could just be you don't have any tight ends. You don't have anybody that fits a tight end type of play. And so because of that, why are you running a play with a tight end? You may have an abundance of backs. Why not find a way to get them on the field, i.e. 30? You may have an abundance of wide receivers. Why not get them on the field in 10 personnel? Now, from this, once you've decided what you're going to use, you basically are wanting your defense to fill in, because they're going to see, oh, okay, they have 9 men in the box. We're going to counter with a defense that puts most of our guys in the box. So if they come with a basic 4-man front, they're probably going to bring that strong safety down They're probably going to bring that strong safety down to give them 8 in the box. You may even see them reduce. You may see them reduce on the backside, bring that end inside, bring this Willie down, and have the strong safety fill in for him there. They are trying to make sure that they can combat you running downhill. And that's what you want them to do. Because once everybody's in the box, you get past that first line, there's a good chance you're going to get out of there. And this is how Lamar Jackson and the Ravens have been killing defenses. Because what they're doing, again, what I love is they're playing 11-on-11 football. You'll hear me say it all the time if you watch any of my videos. 11-on-11 football. No longer will we allow this guy to not be a weapon in the run game, which means that if everybody does their job correctly, you're going to have a one-on-one matchup with one runner and one defender, and in most cases, that is advantage runner. Now, with what Lamar Jackson and guys do out of this, they actually have an opportunity to end up with 11-on-10 football. I'll show you. It's partly based off of read principles. So they want to run downhill. They want to run downhill, but they also want to stress the defense to keep them from collapsing inside. So they run a concept. They run this power concept or power lead. Scoop through. Pulling. So you've got this guy leading up. You're reading this in front side. Your back is coming. Your back is coming here, looking to get in. This guy is screaming across, looking to get outside and block. And now Lamar Jackson is reading this in. If this end bites down because he's trying to take this running back away, he pulls it. There's nobody there. This happens all the time. They're not even really concerned about these backside guys. Those guys are never going to make a play on Lamar Jackson unless it's 15, 20 yards down the field. So now they have a stress on this end where if the end is right, if he does his job, this guy comes down to double team, to deuce, to the backside backer or to the Mike backer, if that's what they decide to do. If he squeezes like he should, squeeze, 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 that guy sees that, he hands it off. If he full sails, if he sails out because he's trying to make the tackle, he pulls it. If he gets up the field, he's wrong because they're just going to keep running it down their throats. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on 1, 2, 3, 4 people. You have 5 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers for 4 defenders. 1, 2, 3, 4. This end can't be right because he has to account for the quarterback. If he doesn't, the quarterback's gone, and now we have 2 blockers, 1, 2, for 2 defenders. 1, 2. And that is how they have been eating all day off of this diamond formation. Now, when Oklahoma played Baylor in the Big 12 championship game, they actually ran this diamond formation with 12 personnel. It was Jalen Hurts, a back, 2 tight ends that were lined up there. And Baylor lined up in a 33 look, and they kept guys back. They didn't walk them up. They had their ends playing in a 4 technique that's on an inside shade of the tackle. They had a head-up nose. Their stacks were 4 to 5 yards back. They had their overhang guys, their safety, linebacker hybrid guys back. They didn't have anyone up on the line of scrimmage, and they wanted to be able to read and react to what they did out of this zone read concept. And this was the beauty of the play. I wanted to show you guys how you really can just mess with defensive coordinators, because remember, you are not facing the defensive coordinator. You are facing the defensive players. And while the coordinator realizes and understands, they don't have to move as fast as these defensive players do. So watch what they did. Oklahoma comes out and they run a basic zone concept. They're running your zone read, so everybody zones this way. And within there, they clean up all of these guys. So you're thinking right now, okay, this is the read guy. This guy knows it. These dudes are ready. That guy's ready. The action you get from the back, he goes away so that he can run his zone path. Quarterback opens up. This tight end works out into the flat. You get your runoff here from that guy. You get your runoff here from the outside. So this tight end runs into the flat. And when the tight end runs into the flat, this guy, because they're in a cover 3 shell, that guy has to be the man to take that flat defender. So he jumps the flat immediately. Now, as of right now, everybody is still good. These guys get hooked into the wash. These defensive linemen get put into the wash. He's washed. They're all washed in. This linebacker attacks. Sorry, this linebacker does not attack. He actually attacked and took this away. These two linebackers attack the gaps because they're all blocking this way. They know their defensive linemen are here, so that guy's going to work himself into that gap. He comes here. He comes here. This linebacker comes downhill, so he gets washed. This linebacker comes downhill. Now, what that linebacker's thinking is, I need to be watching Jalen Hurts. Here's what they do. This tight end comes through like he's about to lead block. And when that guy looks to avoid him, he stutters and goes. Hurts pulls it. He pulls his own. That guy's down trying to take this runaway. That guy's down trying to take the runaway. That guy's taking the runaway. That guy's trying to keep Jalen Hurts from getting out the back end. This guy thinks it's a pass. Hurts comes, takes a step, and throws it to this wide open second tight end. So the tight end attacks, he stutters, and when that guy declares outside, he just takes off up the field. It's an easy completion. Free safety tackles the guy eventually, but it is maddening because as a defensive coordinator, you got every gap covered. Think about it. Where are they going to run in here? Every gap is covered. If he came out here, the guy would have him. He's in the B gap, so there's no reason for him to be there. He's going to be either in this A gap or the nose is. The nose is going to be in this A gap or that guy is. He's got that gap. He's got that gap. He's outside. He's outside. They thought they had every gap covered to take away this running play, only to get hit by a play action that they could never see coming. Because even if they thought it was play action, this is the guy that normally gets the ball, which is why that guy went screaming. They never expected this guy to come this way, then leak out onto a vertical route. Absolutely maddening, and absolutely why you have to love that diamond formation. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you for joining me on X and O's the Joes. If you have any comments or if you want to see anything more dealing with the diamond formation, just leave me a comment underneath. Until then, hit that like button. Please subscribe. We'd love to have you in our family. We're going to keep cranking more of these out, and you definitely want to make sure that you are the first to be able to see it. So until then, have a great day.